Hey guys, it's Shurfrousky here. You might be thinking or having this burning question, like in the back of your head, thinking, like, should I return to TBC Classic or should I come back to it now? If you left WoW during, vanilla or the first few phases of TBC, or maybe if you're just on a break, this could be a good time to come back. So, regardless of whatever it is, I want to give you guys some reasons of why right now it's a good time to come back to TBC. Let's get started with one of the most obvious reasons to come back. So, it's Wrath of the Lich King, right? Wrath of the Lich King was announced recently by Blizzard in April. They even had their little teaser trailer showing the announcement where, it was showing the year and it was going like 2023, but then it cut out and went back to 2022. So many people are speculating that Wrath of the Lich King is going to come out at the end of this year. Some are even saying, like, on the high end, it could be as early as August or September, or on the late end, maybe like November or December. But I think most people are agreeing that it could come around like the October time frame. That's what I'm thinking as well. Especially when you look at how Blizzard usually releases something. It's always every new quarter, right? They like to keep that boost of revenue or profits for these quarterly reports. So lately that's been a good trend on how to kind of guess when these things come out. So I think that's what many people in the community are thinking right now. Also, in general, Blizzard has been pushing classic content at a faster pace than at least the vanilla classic. So it kind of makes sense that it will come sooner than later. So what does the Wrath announcement have to do with coming back anyways, right? Well, the biggest and obvious reason is going to be preparing for Wrath. And what does this entail then? There's lots of things that you can do to prepare for Wrath, kind of depends on what you want to focus on, what type of gameplay you like, and what's important to you. So, TBC, it's currently in its last phase, right? Sunwell is available. It just recently came out, and with this, you can actually get some of the best gear in the game, right? Sunwell drops a lot of great pieces and a lot of good this gear for lots of classes and specs, and this gear is really good. It will actually last you like at least until level 80. Some pieces might even last you until you get a heroic piece, or even past that, like until you get into Nax and you're doing raiding. Like, that's how good the Sunwell gear is. I don't think it's as good as compared to vanilla when you got the vanilla Nax gear, right? How that gear is like equivalent to like Kara and Gruels and stuff, but at least this gear can get you raid ready, so you don't even have to worry about that, or even worry about replacing it while leveling. If you want to get some good quality gear and don't want to worry about swapping it out later on, or being like raid ready or heroic ready, then it's not a bad idea to start right now to get those Sunwell pieces and to help you level up in Northrend and help you get ready for raiding. Another Wrath prep you can do is gold farming. So just like how everyone did it, from vanilla to TBC, getting a nice stockpile of gold will definitely be helpful. You can use it for many things, right? Like gearing for your alts, paying for boosts, leveling your professions, paying for items at rep vendors, flight training too, right? That stuff's expensive. Right now you can gold farm with the current typical methods in TBC, like primals or just standard mining herbs, those kind of things, right? You can also even invest in the items that will be in demand during Wrath launch. So that's not a bad idea to do as well. So in general, as far as gold making, there's a lot of things you can do, and there's so much uses for gold, so it never hurts to stock up on it. Gold is king after all. If you're an altaholic, this is also a perfect time to level them up. There may be a new main you want to have for Wrath, or a second or a third, or even an 8th character you want at max level. Most of us who play are probably casual, and we have other obligations like family or school, work, or we got other hobbies to do, right? Instead of just always playing WoW. So if you want to level another character, time is of the essence. which is why taking the time right now to level them is perfect. The expansion won't be out for months, so as of now, you should have plenty of time to get them leveled up. Another Wrath of the Lich King prep you can do is leveling up your professions. Now this actually kind of goes hand in hand with the gold farming, right? When your profession is capped out, or even while you're leveling your profession, you can even do some gold farming with it as well. Just like how you want to prepare an alt for Wrath, you can also prepare your professions for Wrath. So this time period before Wrath comes out would be a perfect time to get all your professions up to 375. Depending on your profession or auction house and the server you're on, it could be cheaper to level them now than it is in Wrath. For one reason, the value of gold will just inflate once Wrath is out for about a month or so. Every source of gold that you get will double or triple or whatever the actual technicality is. Second, the new profession inscription will be out when Wrath launches, or maybe even its pre-patch day too. So when that happens, you can bet that the materials for those herbalism mats, right, that will probably shoot up in price, as a lot of people will want to level up those professions ASAP. Thirdly, if you plan to use professions in Wrath, you just simply need to have them maxed out so you can start leveling them up from day one. Also, a neat thing that comes with Wrath, for the gathering professions at least, is the little stat boosts they give. Mining will give you stamina. Leatherworking can give you crit enchants. And herbalism will give you a nice little heal over time ability. Overall, these the stat boosts and that herbalism ability are pretty minor. Won't generally be a game changer, but it might be handy if you're trying to min-max. Also, it makes having these gathering professions a little more rewarding for having them because of the stat or abilities. Besides the Wrath hype, there is plenty of other reasons to come back to TBC right now. Since this is the last phase of TBC, that means all the content is out now. So no more waiting. If you held off from playing before because you wanted later raid content like Black Temple or Sunwell, well, your wish is granted now. With most of the community rocking T5 or T6 gear, doing older raids would be a lot easier, at least on some of the bigger servers. You can usually find raids forming to do these as a main spec, off spec pug, or a GDKP pug, which is also another good gold making tool. ZA is also a catch-up raid with some really good gear and being a 10-man too, so the barrier of entry is a bit easier. So it shouldn't be too hard to get into these older raids or even get carried on a fresh 70 if you find people kind enough. You can also easily catch up now with badge gear, especially the Sunwell ones. Those are really good. There is plenty of items you can get for any class and spec with the badge vendors, and there is plenty of ways to get these badges too. So all the raid bosses will drop badges now, with Kara dropping the most badges, a hefty 22 tokens. And you can run ZA multiple times a week, with it also dropping 13 badges per run. Also in ZA, you can get a quest item called Zul'jin's Blood, which will give an extra 10 badges for you. Unfortunately, it's only a one-time use though. On top of that, you can also do the daily heroic, which will reward you 2 badges, plus however many other badges that drop in that heroic. And if you really want to, you can just spam all the heroic dungeons as well. So there's plenty of opportunity to get badges and gear out your characters. So also another more sentimental reason to come back is to enjoy the world of Outland. Before everyone gets pushed off to Northrend, this is the only time you can really experience these unique zones while they are active. Zones like Hellfire, Zingamar Marsh, and Netherstorm. Each zone has an atmosphere of its own with their own little stories attached. Hellfire is your invasion point with demons at the gates, protecting the Horde and Alliance strongholds, and seeing the broken world for the first time. Zangamar has those huge mushrooms and the slithery Naga roaming around. And Blade's Edge is like an ogre homeland filled with spiky mountains, which kind of look like hair under a microscope, to be honest, but has dangerous beasts and ethereals as well. Another storm is broken with a purple atmosphere containing safe eco-dome zones and mana-sucking factories for Kael'thas. These areas are just so awesome to be in, and while you are in them, you can enjoy the quests and their stories for each zone. Now, unlike vanilla, the quests in TBC are more engaging and more fun to complete. Instead of killing X amount of plane striders for their beaks and then them magically almost never coming off, it doesn't make sense how you kill a plane strider and the beak's on their face, but you can't rip the beak off and the beak doesn't drop, and it's like, what the hell? This time, you can do more impactful quests like helping Rexar regain his honor with his tribe, or a former demon hunter in the Grand. You can also fight the raid bosses on an even playing field while you still got the chance. If you have the honor to do so, that is. So, if you do come back to TBC, what server should you play on, right? Well, obviously the one that your character is on, but that server could be dead. Or maybe you never played TBC before and are coming back, or want to come back right now just for Wrath. Either way, we can look at the servers real quick to see which one you may want to join. As of now, there are basically 2 mega servers and 1 balanced server. You got Benediction, which is an alliance dominant PvP server by 99% and has about 2,500 players on it. Fairalina, which is a horde dominant PvP server by 99%, about 2,100 players. And you got Grobulus, an RP PvP server, which has a decent even split of 49% Alliance and 50% Horde. There are other servers with more than enough players on them to have a good time. And sorry EU, I'm not mentioning your servers. I don't play EU. I don't know. These 3 servers are the biggest out of all the servers so far. So, pick whatever fits your playstyle. If you just want PvE, then Benediction or Fairalina is a good option. There's plenty of people on those servers, to play with your respective faction, that is. So it should be an easy time finding groups and people to play with. But if you like PvP and want specifically world PvP, then Grobulus is also a good option. So far, that is like the only server or only big server that still has world PvP and somewhat balanced faction. Also on Grobulus, only server where you will see another faction running around. If you were on the fence with coming back to TBC Classic, then I hope this video helped you. The time before a new X-Pack can always be exciting, and is always a perfect time to prepare for the new expansion. Sometimes it may even feel like a waiting room at times, but that's okay. Remember to enjoy the game while it's here, because when Wrath comes out, most of the TBC content will be out the window. The only reason to do it once Wrath is out is, if you're leveling your alt, achievements, or just trying to get a mount or a pet from a rep vendor, things like that. If you guys liked this video, please give it a like. It helps out so much. If you guys have any feedback or suggestions, please feel free to leave a comment. If you guys are enjoying my content, please feel free to subscribe so you can be notified when more videos come out. All of these will help the channel grow, and I really appreciate it too. So thank you guys so much, and take care. I will see you on the next one.